In a world where power often meant revenge, there emerged a ruler whose name would be remembered not for bloodshed but for justice. This is the story of King Alaric, a leader who faced immense challenges yet chose the path of fairness over vengeance. In his kingdom, the people had grown accustomed to rulers who would retaliate brutally against enemies and even citizens who dared to speak against them. Yet, King Alaric believed that true strength was not measured by the ability to destroy, but by the wisdom to forgive and uphold law. The turning point came when a powerful nobleman, jealous of the king's influence, orchestrated a plot that threatened the stability of the kingdom. Many expected King Alaric to unleash the full force of his army and punish those involved with severity. The whispers in the royal court were clear. Revenge was the only acceptable response for a ruler who wished to maintain authority. But Alaric saw something different. He saw that justice and revenge, though often confused, were not the same. Justice was about fairness, about protecting the innocent and ensuring that wrongdoing was addressed properly. Revenge, on the other hand, was rooted in anger and often perpetuated cycles of violence. Before making a decision, King Alaric consulted with his council, his trusted advisors, and even the citizens who had long suffered under oppressive rulers. He asked hard questions. What is the true purpose of leadership? Should a king be feared or respected? Is it wiser to rule with an iron fist or with a principled heart? The discussions were long and intense, with many voices urging punishment, yet one principle stood above all others: justice. Finally, King Alaric made his choice. He summoned the nobleman responsible for the plot and offered a trial that was open, transparent, and guided by law. Every piece of evidence was presented, every witness heard, and every argument weighed carefully. It was a historic moment because it demonstrated to the people that the ruler was not swayed by personal anger but committed to fairness. In the end, the nobleman was punished according to the laws of the land, but in a way that allowed the chance for redemption. It was a punishment meant to reform, not simply to satisfy hatred. This decision had profound effects on the kingdom. For the first time in generations, the citizens felt secure, knowing that the ruler valued equity and moral responsibility over caprice. The kingdom flourished as law and order were reinforced, yet the people also experienced a new sense of hope. Farmers, merchants, and artisans alike recognized that fairness could coexist with authority, and that the power of a ruler could be expressed through wisdom, not sheer might. Historians would later note that King Alaric's reign marked a turning point in how leadership was perceived. It was no longer enough for a ruler to be feared, to be remembered. A king had to uphold justice, even when revenge seemed tempting. This principle became a guiding light for future generations of leaders, who learned that forgiveness and fairness were more powerful tools than violence and oppression. Alaric himself remained humble, often walking among his people to hear their concerns firsthand and to remind them that the strength of a kingdom lay not just in its armies but in its integrity. In reflecting on King Alaric's story, one cannot help but notice how rare such leadership is. The choice between justice and revenge is often faced in the most critical moments, and yet many succumb to anger and pride. Alaric, however, demonstrated that a ruler's true legacy is measured not by the number of enemies defeated but by the enduring sense of fairness that permeates a nation. His reign became a symbol of hope, teaching that ethical decisions, even in the face of betrayal, can transform a society and leave an indelible mark on history. The tale of the ruler who chose justice over revenge continues to inspire. Across centuries, in every corner of the world, leaders and citizens alike study this story, learning that true authority is not about instilling fear but cultivating respect, equity, and morality. When power is tempered by justice, it becomes a force for good, creating societies where peace, prosperity, and fairness are more than ideals. they become lived realities. And so, the name of King Alaric lives on, a testament to the idea that mercy, wisdom, and justice are far mightier than anger, revenge, or fear.